Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I made a video. Very sorry about that. I have been going through a lot of stuff, as I'm sure most people have. I didn't know why I was feeling the way I was feeling. I went to my doctor and found out I was clinically depressed. And I don't feel like I don't like using, first of all, I don't like using the D word, the depression. It's a very big, heavy word. I just don't feel like I'm at that level to where it should be described that way. Maybe if you want to say like light depression or touch of depression, I don't know. It has stopped me from doing things that I usually like doing, like making videos and baking and things like that. I have been working really hard to get over that and get back into doing what I love. I have decided that I'm going to do vlogs, and I also have decided that I'm going to share with you guys what I currently am doing in my life, as opposed to just, the other videos that I normally do. I try to make self-help videos, but I have decided that I'm going to share my actual life with you and what I'm doing, because I feel, or I hope, that by doing this, I can help someone who is in the same situations that I am, and hopefully seeing my journey or just getting tips and tricks will help. I have decided that I'm going to push really hard and open my own business. So on May 24th, I went ahead and officially opened my home business, which is a baking business. I make 100% vegan and gluten-free baked goods, and I am super excited to have finally taken this step, because this was a very huge step for me. I was very hesitant, I had no self-confidence, and I just really didn't think that I should do this, because I was raised to believe that, you just have to get your job, and you work your job, and you do as good as you can to just be successful in that. And I wasn't really allowed to chase my dreams, I should say, growing up. And then as I got older, I really didn't have time to chase my dreams, because I have things that I need to take care of that I can't just afford to not work for. So I've always worked a full-time job that hasn't ever given me the freedom to be able to pursue anything. But when COVID hit, me and probably millions of other people had time to really sit and think about what we want in life, what we want to do. So that's pretty much where this all came from. After I had decided I was going to do this, though, I just completely went into a very dark place, and I didn't realize I was in there. It took me a very hard time to realize things that I was, the things that I was feeling were not normal for me, and finally trying to break out of it before it got worse. I have a hard time with talking about my feelings, because I don't want to bother people with them. I don't really like to share at all what I'm feeling. People are going through so much worse, People are dealing with their own issues, so to have my issues on top of theirs, I really don't like it. But talking does help, and getting it out there, and then trying to find a solution. So for anybody that is feeling the same ways that I'm feeling, just try to remind yourself that you're validated to feel this way. It's normal to feel this way, but it's not, healthy to stay in it. And you have to talk to people that can help you get back to being, the amazing person that you are, so that you can get back out there and do what you love to do, and follow back on your path. I'm gonna go ahead and start documenting my home baking business. I hope that is something that, people would like to see, and hopefully you guys can learn something while watching me make mistakes and hopefully do well. Also, I just want to apologize, because this first vlog is like all over the place. I have prior videos that I did, and it's gonna be weird. So this first vlog is gonna be very weird, because it was kind of all over the place, but hopefully the next vlogs coming in will be a lot more, I guess, a smoother transition and more easier to understand. But this first vlog is literally just going to be snippets of me doing different things. I went ahead and I did labeling, so I'm going to show you guys, I'll take you guys around like that. I've been doing cost, so I did cost of all my baked goods. I did my menu. I've done buying. I've bought so many things. Starting a business is no joke. I've invested so much money into this business already. So there's a lot to discuss. I had an event that I had been preparing for in the prior videos you're going to see, and I ended up not going to that event because unfortunately with my health I've also had a lot of hormonal issues, and I get a lot of headaches, and I also get a lot of bad PMS, cramps, things like that. And unfortunately on that day I got a really bad migraine and I just couldn't go. So I was very disappointed, but you know, it's part of the process. Just gotta accept those things. You just gotta let it go. I'm not gonna talk too much on that just because like I said, I literally just filmed another video talking about that and just what ended up happening. You'll notice my hair is different. I actually did my hair. So pretty much this vlog is just going to cover what that event looked like me preparing. I have a few videos showing the things that I made. I go over the labeling that I was trying to get done for this market. I hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog series, and I hope that it helps anybody that's out there who's wondering whether or not they should do these things. Just get up and go ahead and do them. So today is label day. Today is label and baking day. My label, the printer that I have is a horrible printer. I'll show you guys when I get home. But it's basically probably the worst. I don't know. It's a horrible printer, and it runs out of ink, and like just it eats ink. And I can't afford to keep paying $17 for just 13 sheets of paper. So I decided it was just more cost effective for me to just go to my local FedEx. So that's where I'm going right now to get my labels done. I'll show you guys once I have them. But I had to get my own labels, and I'm going to bring it to them, and they're going to go ahead and print out the labels that I need for my event. My event is tomorrow, and it's from 1 to 5. It's my first event, so I'm very nervous. My sister-in-law was supposed to come in and help me, but unfortunately she had a family emergency, so she won't be able to come and help me. So this will be just me and my fiance doing this event. So I'm really very nervous, but also really excited to just get out there and see like what that kind of atmosphere is like. I'll try and film as much as I can for you guys just to be able to show it for anybody that's interested in seeing that. Pictures too, so you guys can see how the setup is gonna go. So I'm super excited, but very nervous. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get my labels done, and I will show you guys once I get them. What ended up happening that day was I actually ended up going to Staples to get my labels done because FedEx was charging $83 to get 12 labels done, or 12 sheets of labels. That to me was outrageous, and I was like, I just don't have that money. So I went over to Staples to get more labels because I had told them, well, I actually need more labels done than just this. So I was like, you know what, let me go check out Staples. So I originally went in Staples to go get the labels, but then I remembered they have a printing copy service, whatever. So I was like, screw it, let me just ask them, it doesn't hurt. So I went ahead and asked them, and it ended up being relatively cheaper at the time. And so I was like, okay, sure. It was like $53 to get those sheets done that I originally needed. It was 12 sheets. 12 sheets of labels, and then there's 12 labels in each sheet. So anyways, it ended up being a $53 job. So I was like, okay, reasonable, right? So I brought more labels, I sent everything to them, and I went ahead, and she said she could have it done the next morning. So I was like, perfect. I have the event that morning. I'll just pick them up real early and everything will be great. Next morning comes, I go there, and she gives me 12 labels. And that's not what I needed. I had 27 labels that I had sent her. And I gave her the additional labels, but she only had printed 12. I was like, okay. And of course, of all the labels she printed, she didn't print any of the labels that I needed for the event. I went back to Staples, and when I had told them what happened, they were just like, oh, wow, that's a lot. She ended up being new, so I understand. A lot of companies are hiring a lot of people back now, so it happens. It's totally fine. I was like, it's totally fine, if you could just fix it for me. With that being said, it ended up being, of course, more expensive because she had just charged me for 12 things to be done. So it ended up being $60. And actually, the Staples employee was like a godsend. She saved me money because she didn't charge me the full price for anything. and she actually ended up giving me, they had a 20% I think off of colored print at the time, and then I signed up for something else that gave me like an additional, oh, and then my receipt for the prior purchase had a 10% off as well. So I mean, I had the 35% off with the additional discount that she gave me. It came out to $60 total. If you think about it, it was 60 plus 50. It's very expensive. I might, of course, but I always go overboard and I always over prepare. So I had asked for 2 sheets of each label, and honestly, I probably should have just done one. One would have been totally enough. The anxiety in me made me order way too much, and I spent way too much money. The point of it was I got the labels. They were much cheaper at Staples. Don't ever go to FedEx to get labels printed, because they're crazy. So I am going to start baking for my event. I have my table laid out, cleaned it, sanitized. Jason is going to be my tester. And yeah, I will be showing you guys small little processes, and I'll show you everything that I'm going to be offering at the event. So the items that I was baking for this event were going to be double chocolate chip muffins. These were gluten-free. I had a standard vegan chocolate chip muffin. I did a pumpkin loaf. I made oatmeal and pumpkin cookies, and I also had chocolate chip cookies. My chocolate chip cookies ended up coming out nowhere near what I wanted them to be. The butter had ended up staying out too long, and I didn't realize it at the time because I was so tired, and the cookies were the last thing I did, which was probably the dumbest thing I could have done. Honestly, I would have done the cookies first. One, because cookies don't take that long to cook, so you could easily get them out the way and not have to worry about them. They also don't take that long to cool, so they could cool pretty quickly so that you can pack them. And also, I had ended up working so hard on the other ones that I totally left the butter out too long and didn't realize it. Vegan butter melts very fast, so the most you should probably leave it out is maybe 30 minutes and then go ahead and use it. And even that sometimes might be a little much, but I would say just check it. If your butter, if you can, kind of squeeze your butter really easily, then that's usually an indication that it's room temp. But sometimes being too warm is a very bad thing, because the cookies will literally just spread out all the way and they'll be too puffy, and they also won't hold their shape. And that's exactly what happened to my cookies. I ended up still giving them out as samples, and people absolutely loved them. They said they were delicious, so it worked out really well for me. The pumpkin loaf I went ahead and did, and I had sliced it up into like little pieces, but that was a really stupid thing. What I should end up doing, or what I'm going to do now in the future, is I'm going to make mini loaves. I have this really awesome loaf pan, and I'm going to go ahead and make mini loaves, and I'm going to sell the mini loaves instead, and then just let everyone know that I could make big loaves if they would care to have that instead, so that they can slice it themselves. It is almost 2 o'clock. I burnt myself several times, and I'm so tired. The only thing that needs to be done is the chocolate chip cookies. I decided to do them tomorrow morning because it's already 2 a.m. now, and I'd still have to wait for the cookies to chill to wrap them up and everything, so it's just smarter to just do them tomorrow morning. So I'll wake up early tomorrow morning and get the chocolate chip cookies done, and then I should be ready to go. Setup is at 11, so I'm trying to wake up early enough so, like I said, I could do the cookies and then maybe have some breakfast and have enough time to set up. So yeah, see you guys in the morning. So what ended up happening, I didn't get to go to that event because I had woken up with a huge migraine and I had to end up canceling the event. So I was really, really upset about that, because they have a non-refundable fee. So I lost $25, and then on top of that, I had spent literally that day, the night before, baking. So like I just had so much product. This has been a few days actually. I had taken just some days off because my headache was so bad. I'm having a lot of health issues right now, so it's been very hard for me to get back into work, and just starting this business has been really hard for me because I'm having so many health issues right now. What I ended up doing actually, and this is something that someone can do if you're struggling or if you have a bad day or a bad moment like this, just remind yourself that you're human. things like this happen, but try to think of what's your next step. What's a plan B? What's a good solution? What I ended up doing was I just started giving them as samples. I went to local businesses in my community and I explained to them, who I was. I gave them samples. I gave them my business cards, and, just getting my name out there and trying to recoup and use this as a positive, thing was probably the best thing that I could have done in light of that situation. I do have more events that are coming up, and I went ahead and signed up for them in advance so that I don't lose my spot, because unfortunately the thing with events is, they do book up fast. So if you're trying to plan an event for yourself, you have to get there, you have to try and book it as early as you can, which sucks because of course you never know what's going to happen that day of. Something might happen, a family emergency, you get sick again, or you just never know. You have to take the risk, because if you don't book in advance, you won't get in. I ended up booking 2 events that the company is doing. I'm with it's like a sub company almost, and they let you know when they're having events and where they're having it, and then you just pay them a vendor fee and they just tell you where to go. And honestly, they're pretty awesome. I'll have their link down below. They're called Dapper Events. So if you're in the Tampa area and you're looking for a place that will help you find events, they're actually a pretty good company. I haven't officially worked with them yet. Their vendor fee always seems to be $25 for little street vendors, and then for food vendors it's $50. I haven't seen any of those prices go up. It's a consistent price of $25 to $50. It might go up depending on where they do their next event. So far it's been pretty consistent, so that is really good for me because I'm just starting out, so I don't have a lot of money to be able to get these events. It's very stressful to not have money, trying to make money, and then you're also trying to book events. The most expensive one that I've come across so far was $250. Then the lady tried to cut me a fee, or give me a discount, but she says, oh, you can do $500 and you can get those 2 days. And I'm just like, that's still very, very expensive for a baby business that's just starting out. I told her, I was like, I'm literally fresh off. I just started this business. So I don't have the money to fund that, because right now this is my only source of income. Because trying to find a job that can work with this schedule that I have to want to run my business is also very hard. I would also need someone to work with me regarding my events and things like that. And there's not a lot of businesses that will do that. So it's been very hard for me to find a job where I won't have to sacrifice all the work that I've done so far to have my business running. So that's been another struggle of mine. I went ahead and booked 2 events so far. I'm trying to do an event in August. It's gonna be in St. Pete, which is gonna be a little farther from where I am. It's about, I think, an hour, or an hour and change given, just depending where. I'm trying to do that one as well. Then there's a few, then we go into the winter events, or the fall events, and I have a few that I'm trying to book as well. There's a lot of different things that you can do as a small business, just trying to get yourself out there. I really hope that by vlogging my experiences and things like that, it helps someone that is struggling like I am. I've had to do all this stuff by myself. I've had to just figure this all out by myself. I don't have any business degree or I don't have connections. I'm just a little girl trying to live a dream. And it's been very hard to do these things because there's so much stuff that I don't know, and there's so many things that could probably make my life a lot easier, but I don't know them yet. COVID, as horrible as it was, it gave a lot of people an opportunity to sit down and think, what do I want to do with my life? What am I doing with my life? A lot of people lost their jobs and realized how easily they can lose their jobs, and how easily a company will replace you, or get rid of you in order to save money. So I think that a lot of people are in my position right now, where we're finally starting to go for that dream or idea that we've had. But now we're going back into an economy that is rocked, and shaked. And it's pretty rough. And so I think more now than ever, we really need to be very supportive of each other, as a community, as a world, trying to support those people who are trying to fend for themselves because they don't want to be in the same situation that they were in this time. I've met a lot of people, and they always, a lot of people have always just given me the advice of just like finding whatever it is that I like to do and making a business and working for myself, because that is the only way I can sustain an actual, living, and I don't have to worry about, am I going to get fired today? Am I going to get fired tomorrow? What's going to happen if this happens? And so just not becoming expendable, I think, really is the goal for a lot of people. And so, yeah. So that was pretty much what ended up happening. I gave out all my samples. I made a lot of office people happy, which is great. I ended up having 2 orders that day too. So I honestly I made a total of $53, which of course I end up using way more than that, but at least to have something. I had my first customer, which is very exciting for me, and they all loved my products, which is very exciting for me because I have a lot of self-doubt. The reason I've been so procrastinating is because I have so much self-doubt. It's something I'm working on. It's just something that's always been in my life, and it's something that's very hard to move past, but I am trying to do it. I'm also very fearful of doing number work and things like that, so kind of owning my business is very hands-on, and it requires me to do things that I'm not comfortable doing, in a sense that I haven't been taught that. So for me, it's very uncomfortable, and I don't have anybody that I can ask questions to. So I'm doing something and I'm just like, yeah, I think it's that, right? Like, I don't know, It's been a very big learning process. For anybody that is wanting to do their own business, you have to really understand that this is going to require like your time, your soul, your effort. It's not something you can just sit on the side and let it just chill. It requires a lot of your passion, and you're doing everything. I don't want to say I didn't know what I was getting into. I knew, but it's more like a realization. Like you're just sitting there and going, I'm everything. I do the books, I do the billing, I do the marketing, I do the customer service, I do the product making. Like, you're your own team. You do everything for yourself. It's very hard, strenuous work. And a lot of people want the idea of having their own business or wanting to be an entrepreneur, but I don't think a lot of people realize how much work this takes. And I'm not complaining. I'm just, I guess, expressing my realization of what it is. I like it because it challenges me to be more. I could easily just give up and go back to working a dead-end job and just hoping that dead-end job will turn into something. I could do that, but I want to do more for myself. I want to push myself to understand those things that are uncomfortable or things that I don't know how to do. And I want to be accomplished. And I want to be able to say, yeah, I build my own business and I'm running it, and I'm running it well. Like, that's so far my biggest struggle with this business has been just finding materials and finding things like ingredients, finding vegan ingredients that are in bulk, so they're big enough for me to use and then not have to charge my customers so much, is extremely hard. I don't know what local vegan businesses are doing, and so I'm honestly going to start doing some cold calling to see if I could find anybody that's willing to help me and just kind of tell me how they work their business. But right now, the numbers that I have are very high and stressful because I'm just not finding products that are big enough for what I need, like bulk items like that. Also, finding packaging has been a big struggle. Right now I'm getting all my stuff off of Amazon, but Amazon is doing like 25 boxes for $15, and that's really expensive. If I could just pay like like $50 to $100 and get like 1,000 boxes, that would be great. I don't know if that's a thing. Probably not. But finding supplies has been it's expensive. I'm getting everything from Amazon, but it's not enough. I'm getting them in increments of 25 to 50, and I'm gonna blow through those, especially if I'm pushing my business real hard. I'll end up blowing through those things. And then finding things like little bags to put my stuff in for events, that one hasn't been too bad. I've been really lucky with finding like cookie bags that are like 100 bags for like $7 or $8, which is great. But everything else, like I said, has been bad. The only few things that I think I could do for that, like I said, would do the cold calling to call like some businesses and see where they get their boxes from. I also know that businesses, I think like Publix will give me certain boxes that I ask for, obviously for a price, but I need to do the comparison and see which will be cheaper, and then I will get back to you guys on that, because it's a lot of investigative work and comparing work that you need to do. A lot of calling, a lot of work, but I actually enjoy doing it, so I'm okay with that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like I said before, I will be updating my vlogs. I'm going to be sharing my journey with you guys, and I hope that this inspires and helps anybody that is trying to start their small business. Be very persistent, do not give up, and the biggest thing is have confidence in yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.